If you're a new entrepreneur and you haven't done sales before, you may struggle with significant anxiety or nervousness or just general fear of the entire sales process, especially if you have to go out and actually meet with prospects and pitch and sell them. This is not an uncommon thing. Tons of salespeople have anxiety, tons of salespeople have stress. It's something that, ultimately creates a lot of anxiety and stress. Going out there and pitching people is something that, for a lot of people and in reality, is not the easiest thing in the world to go and do, especially when you're new at it. But I can tell you this. When I first started doing sales years and years and years ago, when I very first started, I had a lot of anxiety. I had a lot of stress. We were going out, we were selling people in home. We're going out into people's intimate environment where they live. And we're, going in there and we're conducting tests and doing things. And then we're selling them on a solution. That was what I was involved in, the water business. And it was tremendously stressful. And I had a lot of problems with fear and anxiety and issues with that. Later on, when I got out of that industry and I was still doing sales and I was still working in marketing, I had to go and I had to do a whole bunch of different things. I had to go and pitch on stage. I had to go and do trade shows and events. I had to go and do, different types of sales. And over time, I realized that it's like a muscle. It's almost like a muscle. If you do not go and force yourself at first to pitch a bunch of times, you're never going to get the butterflies out of your stomach. You're never going to, get comfortable and relaxed doing this. You're going to perpetually be in a state where, it's a big deal. But if you do it all the time, or even if you do it, just a bunch of times, that big deal factor in your mind comes down, 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 right? Familiarity, it breeds ease and comfort, basically. I got to a point when I was doing sales years after that where I, was actually more comfortable when I was pitching somebody than when I was making small talk beforehand. It just became natural. It's second nature. And the reason for that is I'd internalized all the mechanisms and I got an actual, almost like a feel for it. This is something that you really have to work on and you have to do. And so I'll give you a few tips on this. The first thing is you need to go out there and need to pitch some people. Don't, make the demos, these remote, far off things. Pitch someone just to pitch someone, go after the $500 deal, the little deal, just to have a sale. You have to go through the process a whole bunch of times so you're totally comfortable with your contracts, the steps in the sale, the stages, and all of the nuance and ins and outs. Deal with objections in real life. Don't, point number 2 is don't think that you can book smart something that has to be done on the street with your own 2 feet, okay? You can learn all the stuff you want. You can go to 1,000 seminars. You can take self-help classes. You can go and, listen to gurus and all kinds of stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's you by yourself that has to go out there and pitch somebody. So you by yourself have to figure out what works for you. When you're under stress or you're under anxiety, people are asking you questions. What, closes are you going to reach for? What responses are you going to have? That's all going to come down to you. Okay. You have to really just go through the experience of that. And point number 3 is don't think that you can simply walk away from this problem at your business. A lot of people who have agencies get this idea in their head that they can simply, hire salespeople to do sales and that it's a skill set they can just sort of push away from themselves and that they don't have to learn sales. If you choose not to do that, if you choose to try to, plug a hole in your business with a skill set that you don't want to have any familiarity with, you can put yourself in a situation where, either it's most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, it's going to just fail because you don't understand the job they're doing. You can't differentiate good from bad because you don't know the job intimately enough. Or you're going to have people that have your business held hostage if it does work out where, you don't do sales. You don't engage with customers like that. They do. And you can't ever fill their shoes. So if, things fall apart in the sales department or somebody leaves, you're not going to be able to pick up their deals and just run with them. And, this is kind of my philosophy in business. I think that you need to be able to fill everybody's shoes at your business. I'm not saying fill them adequately. I'm not saying fill them every day. And I'm absolutely not saying to be a micromanager. But You need to understand all the job functions as you police them as their boss. Otherwise, you're shooting blind, and that's never good in business. So anyhow, that's going to conclude this. Nervousness is something that will go away. Stress, anxiety will go away when you walk through the process a whole bunch of times and you familiarize yourself with it. There's just no other way of saying it. A lot of people ask me about this, and it's just the way it is. Anyhow, if you like this video, click the little like button there, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. Go ahead and do it. If you have any questions or any comments, post them below. And if you want to check out Rocket Driver, visit us online at www.rocketdriver.com. I'll see you in the next vid.